Hello, everyone. One of the biggest franchises of all time within film is Lord of the Rings, and it's monumental. When the films premiered in 2001, 2002, 2003, they were monumental and they were commercially, successively unbelievable. Like, they got unbelievably great critical response. They made a ton of money and box office revenue, and they gained over a horde of fans ever since the premiere. And when The Hobbit came out in 2012 and 2013, and then this year, we're continuing the series and we're making it bigger and better than it was before. Now, the number one thing people always bring out in these movies is why don't they just simply take the Eagles to Mordor in Lord of the Rings? Now, before I go into that, I want to say this. I am personally a huge fan, a fucking huge fan of the movies and the novels. I've watched all the movies. I own all of them, both theatrical and extended. I own all the books, and I will forever defend them. And I will say this perfectly out loud here. The movies, I love them. I do love them. They're my all-time favorite in both fiction, in both film and novels. They're my all-time favorites. And to me, someone who says they're both a fan of Tolkien and yet they bring up the Eagles and why don't they take them to Mordor? You have no idea and you have no respect for what Tolkien did and what he went through to get this stuff done. First off, the number one reason why they wouldn't take the Eagles to Mordor is because if they did that, reason one is the ring. The ring would have been way too obvious, and it is pretty much in its own sense a beacon of light, which I want to be like, oh, there's the Eagles with the ring, and possibly not with someone on the back of it. When someone would be like, oh, there they are, Felbeast and Morgoth, go and get them, kill them, bring the ring here. And it would have been silly. Of course it would have been silly if they did that. But you know what? They didn't, because you know why? Because they were paying respect. They were playing loyal, honorable, and responsible. They were depending on the books so much, and you can see Peter Jackson and all his crew and team while making these films were not trying to disrespect the films. And that's the secret within film. If you're doing a book-to-film adaptation, number one thing you want to do is pay respect to the original resources. I understand you may have to bend the rules at times. You may have to exaggerate. You may have to make it a bit more silly at times and make it not so focused at times. Like, I understand going too far with book-to-film adaptations, but number one thing you shouldn't do is, I wouldn't say create a fatal flaw or a fatal weakness, because any film has a big weakness. Any film ever, no matter what you say, has a huge hole, has problems in it. Every film has problems. But like I was saying before, if it's a book-to-film adaptation, the number one thing you have to do is pay respect. And for the people who say, why don't they take the Eagles to Mordor? Number one, you are not respecting Tolkien. And I understand you don't have to like him. You don't have to read his books to really get into the movies. You don't have to read them. You don't even have to like them. You don't have to read. You don't have to read. You don't have to see the movies. You don't have to even love them or not. But number one thing you have to understand is the respect and the honor and the loyalty Peter Jackson had for Tolkien. When I watched all that behind-the-scenes stuff of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, I could see a man who, above all things, was not trying to disrespect or become disloyal to Tolkien. Yeah, I understand. He did some things that are a bit too silly, like Legolas running down a board down a staircase, and they fully omitted behind the scenes of that Tolkien would have rolled in his grave. But you know what? In the end, they were still trying to pay respect and homage and loyalty to Tolkien, because they knew in their hearts and in their minds they loved him. They loved his work. They loved what he stood for, and above all things, they loved him for what he did and symbolized. For anyone who says, I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings, but you bring up the Eagle plot hole, you are paying disrespect to Tolkien. I don't care how much of a glaring flaw it is. You do not bring it up, because in any sense of it, it's disrespectful to Tolkien. And if you do love him, if you do respect his work, you shouldn't bring that up. No matter what. Because in the books, they give an explanation. In the movies, they don't. I understand that. If they don't, and so many people will say, why didn't they bring him? And I understand people bringing that plot hole up, but what I don't understand is that you are disrespecting and you are saying what this person did is not perfect. And I understand Tolkien was not perfect. He made flaws. He made some mistakes in the books. He made bad decisions in his life. But you know what? We all do. And if you say someone like, and we can learn from Tolkien, we can become stronger. We can learn from him. We can evolve ourselves from Tolkien. But the number one thing we should do for a man who died in his mid to late 80s, in the 70s, man who went through so much, and he worked from when he was 20, from his late teens to his 70s or 80s, like focusing 75% of his life on his work. You can tell that he was paying so much love and so much kinetic feel, such a hardship and so much loyalty for what he was doing, and he wanted to represent it good. And he did. He made such a big difference. He brought a whole new perspective of fantasy. He brought it new. There's reasons why we say the novels are like the Bible of fantasy, because they symbolize and they brought such a new perspective, something towards fantasy. And you can, no matter what you think of the movies or the books or the man of Tolkien, you can't deny it changed something. And it came in with full force in the 50s of the books, and in the 2000s within the movies. No matter what you think, they changed something, and they did something right. Either you want to bring them up, even if you want to bring up flaws, even if you want to bring up plot holes, even if you want to bring up the Eagles, you can tell above all things, we were trying to pay respect for a man who went through so much stress and so much effort to create this work of Middle Earth. And in the end, he died making them. He was Middle Earth. He emphasized 75% of his life, his whole life, into this work. He went through World War One. No one wanted when he was originally trying to produce the books in the 1940s. No one wanted to support him. And you know what? No matter what, he never gave up. He never gave up, and he never stopped trying. You know why? Because he believed in himself. He knew what he was doing in the end would have an effect. You know why? Because he knew in the end he wanted to change something, and he did. And then, if there's anything to learn from J.R.R. Tolkien, is that you should never give up. No matter what you go through, no matter what happens, you pull yourself through. You persevere. No matter what happens in your life, sadness or depression or death, no matter what negative thing happens in your life, to me, he symbolizes someone who keeps going. He's to me someone who symbolizes who keeps trying. He's so artistic. He's so brilliant. I don't care if he's flawed. I don't care if he made problems. I don't care if he made stupid decisions. I don't care if he did some of these things wrong. What I do care about is him making a change. And he did. He made a change in my life. And I love Tolkien. He's one of my biggest all-time heroes. And I just want to say to both Peter Jackson and J.R.R. Tolkien, I love you both, and I will respect you both forever and ever and ever, and I will forever defend both of your work. And I will say, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit to me are my all-time favorite in both film and books. And I just want to say to J.R.R. Tolkien, if he's watching this in heaven, thank you very much. I owe so much of my life from you. I love the books, and I love the movies, and I will never forget them and I will forever love them. I will forever contain them in my heart and my mind and in my soul. I will forever love them. And I just want to say thank you, J.R.R. Tolkien. You are truly a hero to me. And you mean so much to me. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my view of the whole plot hole of what Tolkien really meant to me. And thank you so much for watching this video. And I will see you in the next video. And remember, stay strong, because we can all persevere through life. Goodbye.